Wong. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
First of all, a big congratulations on getting into NUS. That's amazing. That's a great achievement. Very first thing, I would like you to introduce yourself to everyone out there.
So let me introduce me a bit. Actually, I just leave PwC, so I would call me the ex-senior consultant of PwC Vietnam. So I worked with PwC Vietnam for 5 years in the role of in the tax practice, but I actually involve a lot with the digital transformation of the company. So I decided to apply for MBA because actually I want to pursue that digital transformation career, and I think it's best for me, suited for me now to choose MBA to pursue it.
My very first question to you is how did you like the services and how was your experience with MIBC?
So the experiment, so I think that I have to be frank like this. So when I came to look for you guys, I'm pretty sure I got what I have in my mind. So to be honest, working at PLC, as you know, always has like overtime or something. So it's very hard for me because I have to control my job already. It's very hard for me to also control my MBA application as well. It's really because it takes a lot of work, right? Because you have a lot of essay, you also have the letter of reference, you also have the CV as well, which all of them are important component. It's not just like, oh, you have a good GMAT, that's it. No, it doesn't work like that. And it helps because when I was looking for you guys, I was looking for someone who can. That's why I very highlighted your application dashboard. I really appreciate because as a person who works with digital myself, I think it's the easiest way to navigate everything, to remember where did I complete and how is what is my status, what is the deadline, how many days do I have until the deadline. So that is really appreciated. So when I came looking for you guys, I have what I have in mind is someone to manage this whole thing for me. I will do the work, but someone needs to be managed this whole thing for me. It is also helpful that when I that is what I have in mind when I engage you guys, to be honest. But when I actually work with you guys, I think one of the helpful thing is you guys. There's two parts that I highlight in my review for you in Google. Is one is that you guys create a framework for a person to know that where should they start. And I think it's easier to have that framework and then you write an essay because you would know that. But if I have a thing to comment, is sometimes you could write the framework in a way that you do not necessarily have to tick all the boxes. It could be something for them to think that, oh, this is my story, this is how I'm going to write, um, and then it's in flow with that. So the framework is very nice. And the second thing is, I think this is the thing with all of the business student, everything is that is your story has a lot of component, and usually you do not know which component you would put in the essay, you would put in the CV, how would you present like that. You don't know because it's a very big story. I think one of the good things that you guys do for me is your consultant revise back and forth and continuously challenge me and say that, okay, this may be the story mind. So in our mind, our story makes sense, right? But when someone read it, they may say that, well, there's something missing here, and you need to fill in that missing. And so you see that, because you have the wood constraint and then you have the missing part, right? And they say that, okay, just forget the wood constraint for a moment, I need to know that missing part. And then they would help you to say that this is how you would phrase it if you want to do it, and whether you have the option of that, whether you still want to express it, or you need to fill that missing piece, because people would not understand, for example, why am I applying MBA after this whole digital thing. Why do specifically, what do I want to pursue in here in that specific MBA in this. So I think that is a really good thing, that actually when I strategically plan that I need to have a story to tell, but the way you guys would help is how to tell it most effectively, so that someone who does not know me at all would understand what I'm talking about and why I'm doing the thing I'm doing.
Okay, my next question for you would be because you spoke about the content part, right, and of course, the consulting part, how to frame everything. What difference did you see in the document when you initially started working on the documents, your essays, your resume, your LORs, and then when you actually, got the finalized version?
I think there's a big difference. So I think let's walk through the three things, right? So we have that's specifically what I engage you guys to do: the CV, the essay, the letter of reference. The GMAT, I already passed the GMAT when I go to you guys, so I will not speak of it. So for the CV thing, when we talk about CV, we always think about applying for work, right? We never think about the, of course, sometimes it's overlap. Just to give you a background, when I graduated, I go to PwC to work, and then I keep working it for 5 years. So I do not have a lot of experience related to CV. I think there's a trend that the CV has to be very flashy or something like that. It was a trend like that, and then the CV is the biggest difference, I would say, between what I applied and then what you guys revised, because it mapped out the whole journey of me starting from I graduated to come until I died. So what is my achievement? How could I communicate? What is the action, the transferable skill that I have that I can bring into the MBA? So that is the biggest thing that you guys helped me, because I'm totally honest, I'm not sure how to do it. And then it will be for the essay and the letter of reference. I think the essay is the second biggest one that you guys revised. The letter of reference, you guys also have revised it a lot, but I think that when I navigate the essay, then the letter of reference is easier, because there's in a way the same format but in different stories. So the essay is with nurse, and actually I actually got accepted at NTU as well. So it's the word constraint, and so I have the story in mind that I want to tell. I say that, okay, I'm going to tell this story, I'm going to tell it like that, and you guys also provide me the sample as well, which is really nice. Yeah, like I say in the first thing, what the difference is that you challenge me in saying that I know that your story has a lot of things, and you choose to pick this thing to tell. Your story seems to missing something, right? Because we always sometimes we need to streamline a bit just to fit in the word constraint thing. And they continuously challenge me is, what is the thing that you are not telling them? And what is the part that you, because I think that after the CV, I understand that, I need to highlight the effect or something. But so just to give an example, so when you talk about what my story is, that I create a tool and then I have to implement it. And so I say that the beginning is that first of all, I do not want to go into digital in the beginning, and I was selected, why I was selected, and what is the result. And there's a big part of my story is that I help people to make it the new way of working. And I just mentioned this briefly because it's in my mind at that time, I do not think it is something special, because that is called change management, and that is what I have to sit with everyone, just listen to them and see how could I make their work easier with this one, and I explain to them that this is how you use it in your work. And that's why because from the moment I created it takes me 2.5 years later for everyone to fully use it. So it's a big time. There seems to be this part that you're missing, and that is the part that I think I really like in that story. But it's very hard to tell because people not really understand what is so significant in that implementation. But yes, so the consultant highlight that even though you think it's not, you should include it here, because that's what makes the story change you, is that you understand that not only you create a tool, but also you need to implement. How would you implement it to create the real result for the leaders? So that is the big thing for that. The YMBA is easier. She also have to fix quite a bit, go back and forth between the concept as well. Why go near me? I think that she has a much easier time with the MBA's essay than my essay with the event that affect me. That, and then the letter of reference. So after I navigate the essay, I actually understand that okay, how would I write a letter of reference? What is the story I would bring up in this conversation? So for the letter of reference, I remember just like 2 times we had to went back and forth. The CV is 5 times. That is the most work part, and I think the essay is 3 times that we have to get back and forth between.
Yeah, CV is the most important part actually, because it has your work experience, your education, extracurriculars, everything actually, right? So it's basically a representation of your profile. I got you. All right, I have one more question for you. Now, there are a lot of people out there, actually students, who want to pursue their masters from abroad. So what is the one piece of advice that you want to give to them, and would you recommend those people our services?
I would recommend for your service, definitely, but I think that there's 2 parts I would break down, because your question, I think there's 2 parts. Master, the difference between master and MBA obviously is master is is for junior people who work 2 or 3 years and then they have some sort of experience, but they want to go to expertise, so you have master of finance, master in management, master in business analytics, marketing, so they can go into specialize in it. MBA, as you know, good story, MBA is just two things. It's the network, and then it's the very overall generic picture of what the business is. It's for generalists, I would say. There's still some part for specialists, but I would argue it's more on the generalist side than the other master. For every single master, what I would say is, this is what I am, and I'm very lucky for it. I know that. When I approach my career with PwC, I know that I will leave it. I strategically do things to create a storyline so that I know when I come to you guys, I already have the story to tell. I think because the problem I engage, the time I take for you guys is 3 months because I already have the storyline. I think usually you guys would want people to engage with you sooner, right? And so for those of you who want the master, you should engage them much sooner than I am, because you may not have in mind that you want to go for MBA. So it would take your time to connect everything to make a storyline. For me, I already know what my storyline, because I strategically make it. I know that when I go to PwC, I will leave PwC. I just do not know for which industry yet. So when I go along the way, I have a storyline, and that is the most important thing, is a story for you to tell. Why do you want to do the things you say you need the master for? Maybe it's not many people are very conscious that they're doing it. So I would say for that is that they should engage with you guys sooner, so that you guys can review. To be honest, is that it's not just engage you sooner just for the storyline, but also for the GMAT, for the overall process as well, for them to understand what you are doing and have time to dig up with you on what you are doing and how can you improve it, or what else can you improve. At first I thought was INSEAD. Before I choose nurse, I thought of INSEAD, but the thing is, I do not have time for extracurricular activities so much, and it's not really my strength, so I skip it. But you see, there's a lot of coming to make sure is the university, they do not, and especially at this time, right, where sustainability is the hottest topic in the world right now. They want to know the other side of you, not just you in work, but the other side of you. How would you, because that would reflect on them, how would they're still contributing to their world, right? So if you just realize that, okay, now I want to engage my MBA, that these people should engage you as early as possible. I think in May it'd be easier, because then we have September is the first round, right? The earlier you apply, the easier you get it. That's always right.
Exactly. And you also have time, right? So you can plan and then organize it.
So engage you guys at that time. But if for a person who somewhat strategically know what they're doing, then they can delay the time to apply for you guys a bit, not that much, but a bit. But always is that you need to manage your work. I applied to only 2, and I got into 2, but I have to say that even with 2, the managing of the essay is a lot of work, and that's why I engaged you guys. I do think that they need to make up their mind of what they want to know in their career, because if you are unsure of your career, that whether I should switch or I just go to study. A lot of people come to study just because of they want to break. Don't do that. I would say don't do that. Don't just escape your work. That is not a really good thing. And because when we come to the master, I think all master need it, not just MBA. It's the storyline. It will be excruciating for you to go into this journey if you just want to take a break from your career, because it's not actually just for fun, So I think that first of all, they will need to make up their mind on it. They will need to know that why they are applying for that master. That may be the question first they need to answer. And then you guys can help with the storyline, with shipping, everything. I think you guys can help it, but that is their choice that they need to make it.
Definitely. All right, and it was really nice talking to you, Phong, and you actually gave good insight, which people can actually implement and should actually think about. And all the very best for your NUS journey for MBA, and we're all very proud of you, and thank you so much for taking out your precious time and doing this with us.